The Tigers will complete their Baltimore portion of the lacrosse season this Saturday. Welcome, the Tiger Lacrosse Report starts now.
For an athlete, there's nothing scarier than a torn ACL.
Athletes trust us with their care and their careers because we're a recognized leader in sports medicine.
Get back to your active life sooner with MedStar Sports Medicine.
Wise Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and it's locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl, chocolate covered pretzel. How could you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. You come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Welcome, fans. The Tigers will take on the Retrievers of UMBC on Saturday, and for Coach Nadelen and his team, it's your final game against the Baltimore school here in the regular season. Hopefully, there will be Baltimore schools in the postseason that you can play, but you take on a UMBC team that's still in the early stages of a new coaching regime and a team that is probably still having some growing pains.
Yeah, I think, we're experiencing that as well this year, so we know their pain, definitely. But you can see the progress. You can see the steady progress of what Coach Moran and his staff has done there, and seeing what the guys are buying into and the way that they're playing lacrosse. Again, it's just like us. It's not by any means a finished product. They've been able to play some really good lacrosse. I know they've wanted to play better lacrosse at times, but they're as dangerous as any other team in the country.
They beat Richmond. They lost a tough one to Navy, and then had a game that I'm sure they would like to have back against Mount St. Mary's. So your only common opponent is Mount St. Mary's, which Towson beat and they lost to. Can you take anything from those two ball games?
Yes and no. The Mount's good. The Mount could have beaten any team on their schedule so far this year, including us. And so it's whether they call it UMBC on a bad day or not. That's not sure what happened exactly there. But understanding that UMBC, like you said, has a win under the belt. They played against a tough Navy team, kind of lost. Maybe didn't come out fully ready to play against the Mount, which against those guys you have to do. We felt that, and they did. The Mount does a good job of attacking you, and I'm sure that'll be. We'll face a little bit different UMBC team mentally and overall physically when they come up to our place on Saturday.
They've played. It's kind of weird because low-scoring games, and then the Mount was a high-scoring game. Are they a team that likes to push it, or do they want to keep it controlled?
I think overall they'd like to keep it controlled, but they're not afraid to push if they have the opportunities. They throw a lot of different things at you defensively, offensively. They like to keep you on your heels as best that they can, but they also don't want to, push the envelope too much where it looks careless out there. It's kind of similar to us. They're not going to squeeze the life out of the ball, but they're also not just going to fling it all over the place. So they do a good job balancing the game and trying to understand how they can attack.
For you guys, you're playing UMBC after the Loyola game, so 3 games in 8 days. How does that affect the player?
We got to go into, obviously, the season in good shape, knowing that you have a week like this 3 weeks into the season. So you got to be, not just physically ready, but also mentally ready, and being able to, whatever you've had to endure over the first, 4 or 5 days of that week, be ready to put your best on the field and, battle through, the little bumps and bruises, the wins or the losses, with us, we don't know where we're at with Loyola yet. Obviously, a loss to Georgetown, and being able to get your mind right, get focused on that game every time you're on the field. Whatever you need to do, you need to do it at your best ability, and not be able to have those other factors with either the wins or losses in the previous part of the week. The fatigue that you might have setting in. You got to be able to face that adversity, attack it, and move forward.
Now, as a player, I want you to put your player's hat on. Back when you played, you probably prefer playing these games instead of practicing, don't you? I mean, for the player, wouldn't you rather play games than practice?
Yeah, I mean, any kid loves to play games, right? So, you want to play games. Having it like this is important. You do see some of the guys that maybe log a lot of miles and might not be in the best physical condition yet. That's a little taxing on them. So you get to see kind of people's true colors in that regard, and who can kind of push through or get pushed back. So that's kind of, we're going to really see, obviously, over the next few days what our team's made of.
All right, so the Tigers will take on the Retrievers on Saturday at noon. Ben Rosenbaum and Hunter Locke will have the call for you starting at 11:45 with the pregame show. For head coach Shawn Nadelen, I'm Spiro Morekas. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Tigers.